What is up, YouTube? I'm still in the process of zenning the fuck off my phone, so we're starting to try and write it on the billboard here. The warm-up is up there. I still have to do 1 or 2 more sets of those. I kind of started it. I do a plyo bench push-up, so just really explosive off the bench, and then a ball throw at the ground. So I'm just like warming my body up to be able to move fast and get my muscle fibers going, and just building kind of those motor patterns. Again, I'm really not used to moving things fast and explosive, so I'm just continuously doing that. So don't laugh at me when I'm throwing the ball. It's gonna be my message at the beginning of every video. Don't make fun of how horrible my form is while I'm currently working on it. And then I'll go through the rest of the workout because it's pretty simple, cool shit. But I'm gonna keep warming up. I also kind of cheat my warm-ups as I'm doing the defined warm-up of the workout, the first couple exercises. I do a couple warm-up sets of the next few exercises just because I don't want to like take too long and I'm impatient like that. So explosive bench push-ups and then some ball throws. All right, on to the bulk of this actual workout. I wrote it up there for you guys to see. Barbell press, dumbbell speed press, dumbbell row. So a lot of the pressing here is like doing it in a way that allows me to use less load, which is gonna stress my nervous system less. But the barbell is like, it's really shaky because it's a bamboo bar hanging on by bands. So it's very unstable. So I'm like really working on my stability, which is incredible for injury prevention, injury healing, just overall shoulder stability. So doing that, obviously can't bench as much weight as I could, but it's still really hard for me to do it. So easier on my nervous system. Same thing over here, I'm doing a speed press. That's 8 reps. This is 5 reps on the speed press, and the goal is to do 40 to 60% of my 1 rep max. So if my 1 rep max right now is maybe 150, 160 pound dumbbells, I'll use like 80 to 90 pounds for that. And same with that thing, this is like increasing rate of force production. So if you think of like a high jumper, someone who could just like explode, or a UFC fighter can move, versus a bodybuilder deadlifting where you can produce a lot of force, but the rate at which you can produce it is extremely slow in a bodybuilder compared to an athlete. So I'm doing movements with a sub-maximal load, not as heavy, not as stressful on my joints or my nervous system, but I'm still using all my muscle fibers because the goal is to move it as fast as possible. So it's still an all-out rep, but with a lighter load. And I'm just training my body to produce that force a lot faster. And then after that, I'm doing just a staple dumbbell row on there, as heavy as fucking possible. So hopefully today I can get it back up to the 150s if I'm lucky, if I use straps. And then I'm just going boom, boom, boom. 5 sets of that again. Right now I'm doing 5 sets of the bulk of the workout because the goal is to get more reps in, more volume of sets. Allows my body to learn the motor patterns quicker rather than doing 3 sets, 2 sets. I'm learning it twice as fast. So I'm gonna rip through this. This is a bitch to set up the band belts, because if you put a band on one side, on this little, the bamboo bar weighs like 20 pounds. It's like much lighter. So you put a bar on plate on one side, it flips and explodes. So bear with me, and I'm way too lazy to warm up properly. So I go 1 plate at a time instead of 25s. Holy shit. Now I need a new bar. More new gym equipment. Rhino Flex. I don't know what that one is. We're looking up the weight capacity on this thing because I'm just imagining my head getting split off by a bamboo bar splitting in half. This capacity is 300 pounds, so I'm not there, but they have a heavier one that goes up to 600 pounds. So maybe one day I'll max this one out.
600 pounds on this would be insane.
Yeah. Oh, this bar you can actually put plates on it. Yeah, see, I just want like a rack of like 50 different types of bars. I didn't get it before. Justin was like, just wait, once you get into this, you're gonna want all the bars. Bodybuilders want equipment, jackletes, we want everything. These exercises are a little much less glorious, but necessary for shoulder health. Doing a powel raise and a knee external rotation with the dumbbell. We're talking to Justin about this, about jacklete and some of the principles behind it, which we'll like expand on more in the future, but it's already in the programming. Is a lot of it is based off percentages of weights that you can move in different movements. For example, let's say that you can like bench press 100 pounds, you should be able to dip with 96% of that weight. You should be able to do a pull-up with 45% of that weight. You should be able to do an external knee rotation with 4% of that weight. And if all these percentages add up, you are much less likely to get injured. So a jacklete isn't just like you do cool shit, but you're not hurt, you're not injured. You can do a lot of things without hurting yourself. So strengthening little weird movements like this that you normally wouldn't do. Rotators, making sure your back and your traps and your lats and your rhomboids are equally as strong as your chest or your shoulders, and everything is well balanced to prevent injury, is one of the big principles of jacklete. It's probably the least glorious one. But as you get older in your 30s, you know it becomes a fucking priority. Not wanting to be hurt, not wanting to be injured, to continue to progress without having something holding you back. At least for me, I'm like, that fires me up for it. If I can do a lot of movements, be strong as fuck and do cool shit and not hurt myself, that's way better than being able to do extra cool shit hurt, you know? So part of the cool principle, but it means you gotta do some of this bullshit before and after during your workout. So don't skip it, it's worth it. Oh, damn. That's the heaviest I've ever done of this, not gonna lie. But it's pretty cool to think of 7 months ago, post shoulder tear, post stem cell injection, all that stuff. I literally had a fat grip with no weight on it. And I was lying on my side like this, doing a rep like this with 0 weight because my arm was so fucked. And now I'm hitting PRs on external rotation because hell yeah, shoulder health. That's the first PR I've hit. That'll probably be the only PRs I hit for a very long time. Our external rotations. It might not be a strong deadlift or squat as they used to be, but I can sure external rotate the shit out of some weight.
30 pounds of that's actually just pretty fucking impressive.
It felt pretty heavy, I'm not gonna lie. I need to start doing internal rotation though, so I can beat David Lade in an arm wrestle. I can already beat him in an arm wrestle, but beat him more. All right, that's a wrap on today's workout. I feel like I've been trying to be very intentional recently. This is like a theme of my life, so forgive me for repeating myself so many times, but of giving myself the opportunity when I come in the gym to not feel super rushed, because that's like my life, always feeling like that. And I posted this on Instagram the other day because I thought it was funny, but I literally got pulled over by a cop at like 6 a.m. in the morning, leaving my neighborhood, and he pulled me over. He's like, bro, you're speeding, what's the rush? I'm like, I have no idea. Like, I knew I was going too fast. I was like, why am I speeding right now? I was about to slow down, and he pulled me over, but I just was like, already woke up in the morning, already erratic, being like, get to the gym so I can train by 7, be home by 8:30 to be back here by 10, and like already moving like so fast rather than just being able to like be calm and be present. And it was so funny, him asking me that. I literally sat there, I'm like, why am I fucking speeding or rushing through this right now? Like, I'm not a fast driver. I'm not really one of those guys who like loves to drive fast. I normally drive like more of a normal person. But it was just a huge like representation of life to me. And it made me think that rushing and feeling busy all the time is a form of avoidance, because stillness forces you to actually feel things. And if there's something that is like you need to process, or something that's stressing you out, or something in your life that you know shouldn't be there, that is, that you need to deal with, that you're not, or all these little things that you may be avoiding, the best way to avoid it is just to be busy and to be rushing and to moving through things so you never actually slow down enough to think about it. So creating a routine, a schedule, or structure in your life to allow yourself to do it is so important. And it's hard because I believe I feel the best when I have a purpose and a mission, and I'm busy and I'm doing things and I'm progressing and I have stuff going on. But if I have too much of that without enough time to slow down and do absolutely nothing and just introspectively think and be with my thoughts, it begins to build like a state of anxiety where I'm not present anywhere in my life and I'm not handling things I know I need to handle. So I'm still clearly working out on how to manage that in my life, because I feel like I need a combination, I think, of like a daily, a monthly, and like a yearly thing of me, where like every day in the morning I have a slow morning. I get to the gym without checking my phone. I can train and do my things that I need to, and before bed I turn my phone off a few hours before bed. Every day I do that. That will help me a lot. Monthly, I can have a day where Sunday with my family, and I don't even look at my phone the entire day, like 24 hours. I'm just like, fuck it, I'll deal with it on Monday. Yearly, this is what I really want to do, and this is scary for me, but I want to go do, like, the goal is a week retreat somewhere. Silence. No phone, no books, no TV, no entertainment, no consumption of anything at all. Just a week alone with yourself and your thoughts. There are literally silent retreats that you can go, and they have like food and meditation and stuff, and no one talks to you while you're there. And then there's also just like getting an Airbnb cabin in the woods somewhere and being there completely by yourself. Courtney was like, you're not fucking going somewhere without a phone. What if a bear eats you? So I was like, all right, I'll get my second phone, or I'll go buy one of those, like, I think they call them Wise phones, not smartphones, where there's no like internet access, you can just text. Get one of those, no books, so you can't even read, no TVs, just sit there by yourself in your thoughts. You can journal, so you can reflect and remember what is going through your mind, but I feel like the fact that most people, if you really think about doing that, I'll speak for myself, thinking of doing that, it feels stressful. Like, it's like kind of anxiety to think of sitting by yourself. And how many times do we sit and do nothing for an hour and not even look at your phone, you know? Like, I think I saw this thing the other day, the average amount of time that someone looks at their phone, like opens it and looks at it, is like 400 times a day or something like that, which it might be higher now, but that's absolutely insane. So the idea of being still with nothing for that long, I think, is so amazing. And I've heard some podcasts and stuff of people who have done it, and they're like, day 1, day 2, even day 3 sometimes, you're just kind of like itching and anxious. And then by like day 4, 5, like thoughts that you didn't even know you had in you start just coming up. Emotions start just coming up. Some people I've talked about, just randomly started to cry, and they just had this memory. And they're like, wow, I didn't even know that was impacting me so much, because I never had an opportunity to let it come up and feel it. And then even feeling it and letting it pass through you, you're able to let go of all those things. You know, resistance is the number one thing that leads to like illness and sickness. There's this guy, Peter Crone, who always said that disease comes from lack of ease. So dis-ease. When you're not in a state of ease, it leads to disease. And I feel like so many people are sick and anxious because they just don't take the time to think and feel. So I really want to go do like some kind of retreat where you're just detached from everything. I'm like, I don't care about Instagram, social media, work, fucking Dom at the office. If you need me, you can talk to me in a week. Come back to my phone, I'll have 1,000 unread messages, but it is what it is. I feel like, I might come back to a state of anxiety, but that week might be blissful by the end of it. So I feel like it's something I really want to try and do. I feel like I talk about being stressed and in a rush all the time, but I'm not doing things to change it. And if I keep doing what I've always done, nothing's obviously going to change. So being able to do like a slap in the face, Courtney called me very extreme with things I do. If I'm like, oh, I'm a little bit busy, I'm gonna go sit in the woods by myself for a week and do absolutely nothing. She's like, all right, there's an in-between before that. And I'm like, no, I wanna go all the way. I wanna do the extreme thing. So I wanna plan something like that for myself. And all this came from getting pulled over by the cops. So sometimes what might be a stressful, shitty situation turns into a nice reflection. You know, you build meaning from what you want in life. Shitty things can turn into beautiful things. So that's still my ongoing goal I'm working on. And since that happened, I have been a lot better in the morning. Like I have an alarm clock now. I stole Bradley's alarm clock. So I set it up in my room to wake me up. So I don't need to check my phone even to turn the alarm off. It's in the bathroom closet, plugged in, charging. And I don't look at it for 12 hours from when I go to bed. When I wake up, like 8:30ish at night, I put it away. 8:30 in the morning, I check it, and then I'm back on. So having that little thing has been helping me, but little small habits that make you feel better are super important. So that's my rant for the day. And if you ever are like, where's Cbum? Did he die? Maybe I'm in the woods somewhere. Maybe I'm dead, or maybe I'm just fucking enlightened, meditating like Buddha against an apple tree. Who knows? We'll see. Hopefully soon.